Sony's latest tagline is make believe, but it's looking more and more like their security falls under that same heading. I'm Scott Schober, and welcome to your 2-minute cybersecurity briefing. The hack attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment that's been making headlines over the last couple of weeks is just the latest in a line of security breaches at Sony that stretch back to 2011. Many companies get attacked just because they're vulnerable targets, but Sony seems to have raised the special ire of the hacktivist community. Let's look at how that happened and go through a brief timeline of the company's major security breaches. Sony's problems began back in 2005 when they began producing audio CDs with intrusive digital rights management software included on the disc. If someone loaded the disc into their computer, it automatically installed a rootkit that made changes to the computer's operating system and prevented it from copying the CD. The disc also installed software that would track the user's listening habits and made the computer vulnerable to hackers. Worst of all, there was no easy way to uninstall it. Another event that ticked off the hacking community occurred in 2010 when a well-known hacker named George Hotz broke the copy protection on the PlayStation 3 and made it possible for users to play pirated games. Sony took the hacker to court and even got a judge to order the company hosting the hacker's website to turn over server logs that would allow them to identify the IP addresses of people who had accessed his site. From there, things only got worse. In April 2011, Sony PlayStation Network was breached by hacktivist group Anonymous. Personal details of 77 million PSN users were stolen. PSN service was down for 23 days, costing the company an estimated $171 million. Then, in May of 2011, Sony Online Entertainment was attacked by an unknown group. This time, personal details and credit card information of 24.6 million customers was stolen. In June of that same year, activist group Luzlik claimed responsibility for an attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment, stealing personal details on over 1 million accounts. Hackers even claimed that passwords were stored in unencrypted plain text and easy to find. Details sound eerily familiar to the most recent attacks. In August of 2014, a huge DDoS, or distributed denial of service attack, was dealt to the PlayStation Network again. Although no customer data was compromised, the hacktivist group called Lizard Squad called in a bomb threat against American Airlines to force a jet carrying a Sony executive out of the sky. Things really have heated up when, starting this November, when the hacker group Guardians of Peace initiated an attack against Sony Pictures. New details are still coming to light every day, but so far we know the hackers have concentrated on releasing embarrassing and damaging information about the company and its executives, including executive emails, pay disparities, and personal feuds with actors, actresses, and employees. To make matters even worse, the North Korean government is believed to be directly involved, and there's even a talk of an inside job since details of Sony's internal network seem to be an open book. Well, details keep pouring in, so I'll be keeping you up to date. Subscribe to our weekly video 2-minute cybersecurity briefing podcast on iTunes or YouTube. Stay safe.